So, it's been a while. I haven't been doing these collective readings because I have been focused on shadow work and healing our relationships. So, what I would like to do is walk you through a short breathing exercise where we're going to connect with our divinity so that you can receive the message that's for you. The message that's for you may be different than what I'm saying. My words may communicate something specific to you that is occurring in your life or something that you have been thinking about. So, we're going to get into this. If you are driving, of course, wait till you get home and you're able to just sit and go through this breathing practice. But for those of you who are sitting or laying down and are in a safe place, if you would just close your eyes and touch the tip of your tongue at the roof of your mouth as far back as possible. Like that. I know. Some people say, my tongue can't reach. That's okay. It's the intention that counts. This is just going to help you to connect with your pineal gland, activate the God consciousness within you. And so as I am telling you to breathe, you can hold your tongue there. With this first inhale, put the air, the ether of spirit with the intention of love in your belly. So many of us breathe with our chest. You want to breathe with your belly like babies. And this will help to soothe your nervous system. Relaxation is necessary for all spiritual connection. So take that first inhale. Exhale. It's okay to make a sound when you exhale. Sometimes we get to the point of holding our words back that we're not really expressing. A sigh is a form of expression and release, letting go and surrender. The second inhale. Exhale. Let it all go. The third inhale. Exhale. I call forth all our divinity to stand in the sacred space with us. I call forth all spirit guides, ancestors that have ascended to higher levels of consciousness, all star tribes from our galactic origins, and any other support that we have that we may not be aware of at this point. I ask that you stand in this sacred circle with us, that in this circle, all communication will be with the intention of healing, growth, love, and compassion. Namaste, Namaste. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, let's begin. So I'm going to be pulling from the Kali deck. And Kali is the primordial dark feminine archetypal energy that has many forms, and she helps us to disconnect from our attachments. She helps us also to heal ego issues. So Kali, Mom, what message do you have for the collective of souls that are awakening and beginning to exit lower frequency, fear-based realities? Dharma of Kali, Dharma of Kali. Dharma is the purpose, the place where the soul intends to evolve into. Her every action is infused with love and purpose. Every challenge and every opportunity in your life exists by her divine design. Her spiritual intelligence is within your heart. When you trust in your integrity and proceed according to your soul's values, you are trusting and empowering her to be at cause in your life. Everything that is happening is part of how your prayers are being answered. A new order is to be established. You are being led into it. To honor the Dharma means to live according to genuine spiritual principles. What those principles are depend on your inner values. To live according to your values means living with integrity of being, conducting yourself according to an inner spiritual code. If you are not quite ready to take such responsibility, or do not yet have the confidence to trust in your own values, work with an external moral code and attempt to align with that. Morality is like training wheels for the soul, imposing concepts of right and wrong. It is a top-down approach. Mind first, then attempting to mold behavior accordingly. Spiritual integrity is a different approach. It does not ask what others think about a matter or how we will be judged for acting in a certain way. Rather, it inquires as to what resonates as the most spiritual aligned course of action. It considers how we can speak and act in such a way that those inner values are respected. Adherence to external moral codes is useful in the earlier stages of development. But when a soul is ready to grow, being overly guided by morality can undermine spiritual progress. Morality can lead the soul into a state of psychological infancy, responding to externally imposed measures of conduct and aiming to avoid repercussions when a transgression is discovered by another. Or it may suffer with guilt and shame when a moral code has been violated, intentionally or not. In such a mindset, we hand power over to the collective that establishes the code, whether it be a religious, socioeconomic, family, or political group, or the collective more generally. In following that code, we can adopt something of a childlike attitude to punishment and reward. Hence the shock when bad things happen to good people. Those with the courage to grow into following an inner code take greater responsibility for their lives and actions. From greater responsibility arises greater freedom. In moving away from the crowd, such souls can forge their own path. This does not mean we act in ways despicable to others. Certainly, there are people who deny the power of a moral code, but also lack an inner connection to spiritual presence, and so move with an absence of integrity altogether. Such people create much pain for themselves and others, as they assume a level of personal power without the spiritual maturity to ensure that power is expressed benevolently. Our evolutionary process for strengthening our connection to Dharma, or spiritual law, transforms our relationships with ourselves, each other, and the world. As we grow spiritually and mature at a psychological level, we naturally begin to cultivate our inner values, eschewing those we have been taught that no longer resonate with us. We learn the often painful lesson of what happens when we abandon our values to pursue that which society says is more important: control, profit, or personal gain at any cost. social status through positions of power, for example. We increasingly align ourselves with our values and adhere to them more courageously, evolving them according to the inner resonance rather than the outer effect. We realize that self-respect is more important than trying to control and manipulate outer events or other people. We are moved from an inner place rather than motivated by external rewards. As a consequence, it is spiritually safe for us to receive an abundance of material blessings because we know we will not try to sell our soul to obtain them. The Dharma of Kali brings the message that your most abundant successes will manifest when you are aligned with your integrity. You do not need to put faith in pathways or projects that do not resonate with your deeper spiritual knowing and values. Seeking the ways of the world to bring you what you need is only going to limit your spiritual progress and undermine the most abundant manifestation of your purpose. If you're intuitively knowing that you need to engage with a more traditional worldly means of progress, then you can do so with your spiritual integrity intact and guiding you so you stay true to yourself in the process. As you are guided from within, you shall make the best progress. Here's the invocation to call this consciousness to assist you in your life. And I feel like a lot of us right now, and so many new people are stepping out of religious constructs. So many things are being revealed, and a lot of souls really aren't sure which way to go. And what this card is saying is that going within yourself to find out, what do I value beyond conditioning from the external world? What do I value from my heart, deep within myself? What resonates with me? It may not resonate with anybody else. It may not resonate with anybody in my family, anybody in my circle, anybody at my school, anybody that I work with. What resonates with me? And by asking this question and holding on to your integrity, you begin to heal the fear of stepping out as your authentic self. And with this new moon in Pisces, which is a continuation of the energy of Aquarius we went through, it's calling us to be in integrity. What morality told us was considered good and bad may or may not be what's true for you. And this is true authenticity. This is true spiritual sovereignty that we are being offered. When I first started doing this, I was so worried about what other people would think. But I know that my energy, I know that the way I impact people is for positive transformation. So I worry less about what others are going to think because I'm remaining in integrity with what I feel is most loving for me. And when I do that, I'm able to offer more love to the world, to my clients. I'm able to channel information and readings that you just don't find anywhere else. And it's the most amazing thing to be able to connect with souls I've never met before. And to have them say, you know, everything that you said resonates with me. So this is just the power of being in integrity. And sometimes we don't know what that is, and that's okay. I'm still figuring it out. I had way more false self-mask that abuse, narcissistic relationships conditioned me to wear. So I'm still figuring it out. And that's okay too. That's a beautiful journey. That's what a spiritual awakening is all about. Figuring out what your true face is, who you truly are. So the invocation ritual says this: take a moment to settle your awareness on the flow of the breath. Is there something that has been troubling you? Speak to Ma Kali from your heart. And this is a prayer that you can offer. Kalima, beloved wearer of the mala of skulls and marigolds, I bow to you. You are the way, the healing, the integrity, and the resolution. You are the blessing, both in chaos and in grace. I release fear and attachment to outcomes. I become free and ready to receive and be held within your divine will. I choose to trust you unconditionally. I surrender all concerns to you now. And I open to receive clear alignment with the highest path for resolution and release that brings spiritual benefit to all beings. Jama Kali. Now you bring your awareness to your heart. You can place one or both of your hands over the heart to enhance this connection with the primordial mother of creation, the one who brings order to chaos, the protector, the one who guides us. And you're going to feel and intend or visualize, just imagining that Kali Ma is shining inside of your heart. Perhaps you see her. Maybe you see red and black lights glowing within your heart, or you feel her love within your heart. Sense her loving blessing reaching down to your feet and flowing out through your feet into the earth. Your path is secured, grounded, and protected through her loving grace. Place your hands in prayer at your heart and bow your head. You have completed your healing process. For those of you who may be new to some of these archetypal goddess energies that assist us, this is something that you can use as a daily practice. I also do dark goddess readings. This is for anybody, especially for those of us who are reparenting our wounded inner child, being able to use these spiritual mothers as guidance as you're reparenting your inner child. It's a much deeper connection. If your heart has been closed and maybe you feel a disconnect from your own feelings, from your own heart, this is a time where you can use this, come back to this video to reawaken the heart. The heart sometimes has to be activated. And it's kind of like when people, need to be resuscitated when they go into cardiovascular arrest. And so everything that's physical is a representation of a spiritual manifestation. And sometimes we need that jolt to the heart. So if you felt numb or you felt nothing, that's okay. You might just need more time to work with your heart. All right. So I'm going to pull from my crystal deck to see what crystal comes up to be of assistance for us. What crystal would best assist us? Interesting. Very interesting. Crocoid, which is the crystal of sexuality. So what I feel from this is that a lot of us experience sexuality being awakened before we were mature enough to handle it. As we know through entertainment, sexuality has been put in front of us subliminally since we were kids. These caused wounds within us. And this is why we have this huge issue now with intimacy issues, the inability to be in integrity with your sexuality, in integrity with your body. A lot of women who experience sexual abuse, I believe a lot of women forgot about it and now it's coming up. It's showing up as symptoms in relationships. A lot of men who had some sexual abuse as well, we can shut that information out. But to heal, to become whole, it must come forward. And our sexual energy is created by our sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the ruler of creativity. So it's not just the energy to create babies, but the energy to create anything that you desire to create, your dreams, writing a book, songs, music. Maybe you want to create meals. Maybe you are a chef. Maybe you're wanting to create clothing. You want to be a designer. Maybe you want to do artwork. Like, the ability to create, the ability to be creative in healing some of our relationship attachment issues also requires us to be connected with this energy in a pure way, in integrity to ourselves. And to access Dharma, to step into your spiritual timeline where you're operating as your spiritual self more often than not, it does require that Shakti, life force energy that feeds our sensuality, our sexuality. Without it, none of us would be here. Without it, there would be no creation. And so we are very important in the spiritual evolution in which we are ascending from so many things that made us dense and heavy and just gave us so much burden to carry, to the point of not being able to fully experience your light body that we are being activated to have, explore, and use. So, if this is resonating with you and you've been noticing some things, I do have sexual healing practices that can be done solo. Most of the time, solo is the best way in the beginning. But I think that spirituality got separated from sexuality, and it's like they're two different things, but they're one and the same. They're very much connected and they feed one another. And this is not about sex with someone else. This is about being connected with yourself. And I think that there was a lot of shame programmed into us around this. And it's ironic because so many teenagers was having babies, but nobody was having conversations about sex while it was happening. And I talked about this on the last Untamed podcast done with me and my Sacred Sister Circle. So this is one of those things where you can actually work with the wounds that you have around intimacy to activate creativity, to activate life force energy to create. And for those of you who are content creators, what is your relationship like with your sexuality? That's definitely going to have a strong impact on the content that you are creating. And so being able to be more innovative and creative, that's still the sacral chakra energy that assists us in doing that. So if you want to book a reading with me, you can book a reading. We can discuss all of these things in the reading. And I hope that this message spoke to someone and helps you on your journey. And I will be making an announcement soon. I'm making some changes, which I have been mentioning. You are seeing me less because I have been completely demonetized, which means that I've been working for free. And I want to be in integrity. So I'm still going to offer my services through the website. You can find that in the description. And for those of you who are part of New Verse patrons, thank you so much for being an NVIP. For you get so much. So I'm telling you, thank you, but I'm sure it goes both ways. It's so much there that I can't say here. And for those of you who would like to join, all you have to do is follow the link that would be in the description. All right, y'all. Namaste, namaste. Ashe.